Hello, today we're joined by Simon Miller. He's a deaf BSL translator for HEX, and he's going to talk about his experiences of growing up in a hearing community. And we'll go straight to some questions. Can every deaf person read and write? No. Not all deaf people can read. Some can read, some can write, but most can't read or write, and they get left behind. If there's a deaf person and a hearing person growing up, they can absorb English from speaking, from radio, from television, but back then there's no subtitles. So it's easier to absorb English if you can hear. When you're deaf, you miss a lot of information, and the development of English, you can get left behind easily. So no, not all people, deaf people can read. How do deaf people communicate? My answer? Communication and access through British Sign Language. And some have supported sign language, some supported English. We also communicate with lip reading, but mainly signing. It's communication in sign is easier. If a person doesn't know sign language, how do we communicate with a deaf person? Gesture can really help. I used to work at a shop, and a customer would try and talk. Well, lip reading is difficult, but if you can gesture, brushing your teeth or roll on, cotton buds, some gesture, it's easier to pick up than lip reading. Without the sign, it can be difficult, but gesture can really help. Makes it quicker. So gesture is a really big help. So first is gesture, also lip reading, but not too fast. If you do normal speech, I can pick up the lip reading. If we're really struggling to communicate, we can write things down. But the fourth and most important is to be patient. Sorry, the question. Hearing people think in English or speaking. Do deaf people think in sign? Yes, sometimes I'll think in sign, and sometimes I even talk to myself in sign language. Question: can deaf people listen to music? Yes, some deaf people can listen to music with headphones or radio in the car, and yeah, some can listen to music. Some of my friends are deaf DJs. So the question we missed here, what do you wish that hearing people could understand about your experience? Sometimes I feel left out. That's the worst thing. If you're at a party and the communication isn't there. Last January, I invited my mum and dad to my Zoom meeting for my birthday. We had a Zoom party. Lots of my deaf friends were communicating. Mother and father really had to step back and felt what it was like to be in a room where they couldn't understand and felt left out. So they realized what that was like. What's the best thing about being deaf? My answer: best thing is sign language. It's a beautiful and rich language. Includes facial expressions, body language. It makes for an interesting conversation. Second, it's peaceful. Right here, it's very peaceful. You can sleep anywhere if a lorry's rushing by, sound asleep. The third thing is the culture and the community. It's a strong community. Question, why should I learn BSL if people can lip read or we can communicate with writing? My answer, lip reading is too hard to work. It can be tiring, watching lips. I only really pick up 30% when lip reading. Back at school, a lot of it was oral and missed a lot. Being taught English, science, history, geography, it's all very oral and you get behind. Anything like art, PE, drama, and maths, you can learn, but it's not very oral. With the oral, you get left behind and it's hard. Some can't read, some can't write, so the communication is better if you can sign. Question, can deaf people drive a car? My answer is a stupid question. Yes, of course. I had a motorbike for about 20 years until I had to change and get a car because I had children. I have a class 2 lorry license, so it's all good. Of course I can drive. The only thing we can't do is drive a plane because of the communication and the hearing and the talking through the headphones. But I can do anything. It's only my hearing that's broken. What's one thing you can't do because you're deaf? Me, I'm very happy. I can do everything, I'm happy. But of course, life would be easier and faster if I could use the telephone. Everybody commutes on the telephone. It's faster, you can get jobs done quicker and easier. Question. Do you access the online information the same as everyone, as a deaf person? No. Why? Websites have a lot of audio or written English, pages of English. To absorb is really difficult. It goes over my head. Video, definitely not. No BSL translation. If I want to go to a contact page and contact us, a lot of the time it has a telephone number. There is also email, but sometimes it just takes forever to people to get back. They reply, sometimes they even reply, and sometimes it just takes forever. So telephone is a lot easier. What would be really good if you use Sign Live, we get instant access through a third party, and they can have the conversation and ask the questions, and they sign and interpret the conversation so that we can ask. It's also good for people hard of hearing. Question, Which one thing do you wish all websites have? My answer, BSL translation. Pages of content pop up with the sign video with the translation beside. Page translations in BSL include more questions or lists of answers, how to use things, and how-to guides. Makes it a lot easier to absorb the information that other people have asked to keep us all on the same level. Is reading information harder than signing? Yes, sometimes reading goes over my head. Not all deaf people or hard of hearing. Not everyone can read. Some deaf and hard of hearing, their English is their second language. So it's hard to read. Signing is good. Question. Are you able to watch video without BSL? My answer is impossible to absorb the video without the translation. It's impossible. Government, the MP Boris Johnson, lots of announcements, lists, guides of safety information, no interpreter. Whereas most of the world have BSL translation, the announcements, and an interpreter. In Scotland, they have every time an announcement and they always have an interpreter. Here, nothing. Important information to keep us safe should have an interpreter so that everyone can receive the information at the same time. Everyone's getting left behind. If I can't hear, there's no BSL. The information is not getting through. I can miss information or be told something wrong. Everyone should be on the same level and be able to get the information at the same time. There are 10 million deaf and hard of hearing, and they're left behind. Question. Should everyone be taught and learn British Sign Language? Answer, yes. Why? Deaf people need that access of communication every day. And it's a beautiful language. It's fun to learn, it's a cool language. My view, at school, learn German or French or other languages. Maybe they need it for a job or on holiday, but people might go to Germany once in their lifetime and come back and don't speak. We go to Germany again. Some will go and speak fluent French, but most people just speak English. So my view is sign. We need it here. We've got access here. We need it every day. Excellent. Thank you very much.